Hi everyone, so in this video I'll talk about how to actually prove the law of sines by using some definition. So just before we get started, so we just want to remember the definition of the sine function. Let's say we have alpha. The sine of alpha mean the the ratio of two sides. What two sides those are just the opposite side and then divided by the hypotenuse. Okay, so this is the definition of the sine. So so in our question, so we have a triangle that we start with. So our goal is just to get the a law or a relation between the side and angle. Okay, so by just using the definition of the side. So the first part, find the sine A. So if you look at the angle A right here, so the angle A right here, and the opposite side for that is the H, and the hypotenuse is B. So we can just write that. So the opposite is H, and the hypotenuse is B. And the same idea, if you look at the angle B, so let's go ahead and find the sine of that as well. So the B is right here. So the opposite side for this is also H, and the hypotenuse for the angle B in this triangle is A. So let's go ahead and type it as well, H over A. So as soon as we have sine A and sine B, we have H is in common in those two fractions. So which is why we can take the H alone in both equation. So to get this H alone, so we have to get rid of this B. So we can multiply both sides by B. If you multiply both sides B, then this will be B times sine A equals H. So that's gonna be B. And the same idea right here. So if you multiply both sides the equation by A, so you will cancel that A in the denominator. So that will be A times sine B. Okay, so this is equal to H, and this is also equal to H. Since the left side of these two equations are equal, so right side of these two equations has to be equal as well. So B times sine A, which is, I'm going to substitute basically H in the other equation, equals A times sine B. Okay, so B times sine A is the same as A times sine B. And you may leave it that this way, or you can just divide both side of the equation by A and B just to rewrite this equation. So like what we can do, we may just divide the left side by B and then right side by A, but we cannot just do this divide by two different numbers. We have to divide both sides by the same number. So which is why we may divide both sides by A and B. So, or we can just remember the cross multiplication. When you multiply crossly, you actually multiply the number in the numerator and then on the number on the denominator right here. So since we are given B times sine A, so this is sine A, so which means this has to be A, B. So we can multiply those two together to get this one. So we are now reversing that process basically. And then to get A times sine B, so I need to multiply this one by the number right here. So that should be A. And again, if you want to get this slightly differently, you can divide both sides by AB. So that is also going to give us the same result. And then now we actually have a relation. And then this relation is called law of sine. So the sine of the angle A, which is one of the angles in the triangle, divided by side A, A is the side that is opposite to this given angle A, equals sine B divided by side B. And then if you want to do this with another height, so then this is going to be equal to sine C over just side C as well, which you can do this process one more time, okay? So I hope that makes sense, and that is called law of sine. So let me write this as a final result. So the law of sine is basically the sine measure of A angle divided by the side that is opposite to this angle A equals sine of B, which is another angle in that triangle, divided by side that is opposite to angle B. This is equal to sine C divided by side C. Again, we didn't do the last one, but if you want to take the any triangle and drop the altitude from A to maybe C, like A to B, C, so you can just use the same reasoning and you're gonna get another relation another two proportion like the one we got right here. And then if you want to make them all equal to, so that is what we are going to get. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so let's continue with this one. So now we do have the another triangle, but now the altitude, the height is from the angle B to the AC, okay? So I'll use the same reasoning. So if you look at the angle A, and if you take the sine A, sine means the opposite side divided by hypotenuse. For angle A, opposite is H, so I'm gonna go ahead and write that. And the hypotenuse for this triangle is C. Okay, so that is C. And if I take the sine C, so in this triangle, then the sine will be opposite, which is H. Hypotenuse will be A. So you will get H over A. And then since we want to get the H alone, we may multiply this equation by C. So you will get C times sine A. And then if you multiply this equation by A, you will get A times sine C, H equals that. Since both equations are equal to H, so the right side has to be same. So the C times sine A equals A times sine C. And then same reason as we did before, we may just try dividing both sides by A times C, or we can just kind of reverse the process of the cross multiplication. So we do multiply this number by the number right here to get one side of the equation. So sine A is multiplied by C, which means the denominator right here has to be C. And the same way, we got this denominator as A. And then this is the other proportion that we didn't have in the previous problem. So if you combine this with the previous one, we do get all three equal to each other. And that is called law of sine as well, okay? So I hope that makes sense, and I'll see you in the next video.